And
Did you see
and
in the Telegram? David and Richie have been talking here all morning, and
uh-oh.
David has cut the cords with Nigel and the Mosen group, saying they're manipulated like the uh, Velodians were.
The hell?
Yeah.
No.
Then he's saying he's looked into Nigel. He said he saw what actually looked like. Had white hair, like I thought he the same species as Valiant Thor and other members of Mosen. They're
Huh.
same species, and his name isn't Nigel, it's Simon or Simone or something.
Oh. Uh-oh. I know what this is. Okay. David might be on point.
Uh,
Oh. He's the one you always hear me refer to as the blonde-haired idiot.
yes, yeah.
And God, I thought that fucker was dead. Okay. All right.
One dies.
So, okay. What? Yeah, but there's the thing though. I didn't sense deception from Nigel when he was talking about the reptile the Draco or the avian Draco, all those stories and the hedge betting of the gods and everything.
Yeah.
Something had to have occurred. Uh, but the hell?
You know what's funny is I kept feeling I needed to keep editing the thumbnails on those shows with Nigel. I've done it so many times because I felt something's wrong here. And then I just edited again. I put this GIC logo in the last one of the fires
Uh-huh.
one. So, but
Okay, then why were we getting memories back with them SSP memories? Well, we are also getting the Velodians as well,
well,
but
David, it sounded like when I was looking through, David was he was taken again last night, and he was tired of them using him as a super soldier kind of thing. Like that's what they.
okay. But the fact that he was able to peg the name,
Yeah,
he's dead on the mark of
yeah,
somebody I already knew about.
yeah,
So that would be the third in the trifecta from hell. You have the Brat, which is Loki. You
yeah,
have the Witch, also known as Isis, and then you have the blonde-haired idiot, also known as Saint Simon or Simeon. So
he picked it up.
also known as Magnus. So this is uh,
Um,
yeah. That's I was wondering when the third of the trifecta would have tried to surface. So and Orions operate in threes.
yeah,
So a lot of times they operate in threes.
yeah,
So fuck. Boy. Well, this puts Hajamal. Well, Hajamal worked with these Mosen as well. I
yeah,
don't understand this.
yeah,
Hajamal's not evil. Uh, Horse people are not evil. Livik's not evil.
yeah.
So,
You know what I've been picking up is that they don't want to they don't want to admit this because we put them in such high esteem, but they're
Mhm.
just tricked like we are.
Oh, because they're all okay.
That's what
I
I'm getting.
okay.
They get tricked as well.
This explains. Okay, in the ghost box session, you're going to see one from a man where he's saying, making a comment saying clinking of a glass or something, or
Yeah,
making a comment about cheers or clinking of that. But he's using an Americanized accent,
yeah,
but it sounds like he's talking like Nigel. And I'm
yeah,
going, this explains the mystery there. Uh, I I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad if some of them let some of this bypass, and we've actually channeled a couple of a few of that trifecta. I'm gonna be pissed.
yeah.
So, um, hmm. Well, we talked to David tomorrow night, so I'll get more from him then. But the thing of it is, though, the Mosen did help out against the Orions. Maybe at some point, there's another group that there's a guy named Norman that I've trusted too. That he guards sacred texts and stuff like that. He's more Tartarian
So
in
what I'm picking up here now is again is the I must be getting this from Wodar is what I'm feeling is they like our stance on that we're very black and white with the you're either good or you're bad, and if you're bad, fuck off. And they love the stance, but that's not how it is. There's variations of gray area in
yeah, variations of gray, no pun intended in there,
no
but
pun intended. There's a
yeah.
gray area in between the good and bad that you could have some bad tendencies but still be good. And there's a little bit of more leniency and work with going, well, we can serve the good even though we're working with pirates here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm picking up.
Yeah, yeah. Just like if you watch the movie Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, that is what the Mosen story was about.
Well,
And
and they kind of told us in that whole aspect of saying that it's kind of like the Vikings. You look at the Vikings as barbaric and terrible people, but you can
mhm,
also look at them as good and honorable and had a code. And
mhm.
so they're both. Do you know what I mean? They were
They're
both.
both, yeah, yeah, and yeah. Hang on, let me go to the bathroom real quick, and we'll try to look at this. Ouch! Damn it. I think this might solve some of the shit that we had going on.
Yeah. Well, today I seem to have a very good connection with Wodar because I I feel that I'm getting so much more information. Uh, that's why I've been able to share so much with you. What's coming to me?
Yeah,
It's weird.
yeah, that's yeah. Hang on, give me a second here. Right. Yeah, that pisses me off because the we've gotten so much information now we have to redact even more, and oh and Hajamal, hang on, let me
It's
try something real quick
sometimes it gets to the point where it's embarrassing. No one can, you know what I mean? Like
so we
the
can
way
believe
that
it.
gets you so that you can't believe anything is okay. When are they going to say this is wrong again? Um, yeah,
I know. Let me think a minute, and also hang on, let me look for somebody specific, huh?
Kara would be a good one. See how
Yeah,
much
that's who
or
I'm
Ragnar.
thinking. Yeah, and Ragnar. Yeah. Okay. True benevolent Kara the Valkyrie. And true benevolent Ragnar, please, we require your presence as of this moment in time. I felt the change in energy. And I might as well go here, true benevolent Elaine and Vessa as well, as of this moment in time.
Yeah.
Question to you guys. Why, if Nigel and his group of thugs were uh, Simeon and his group of thugs, why was this gone along with by Hajamal and the rest of them? Because I noticed that those different worlds had different planets had their own police forces and their own people. They didn't really need somebody like the Mosen. So they had their own people. They had their own medical people as well. So on that note, we cannot have details constantly shifting like this. The main ones stay the same. There's just little people that shift in it. The details seem to stay. The people do not. So my question is, what the fuck? Because David got that dead to rights. He nailed it. Dead to rights. There's no way he would have known that name.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that happened while we were talking, because now, Kara, your picture's right next to me, and I have a coin right in front of me. You have no reason to have. There's no reason to have an overlay in here, unless somebody's trying to block me from hearing you. Hmm. Come on. Come on. Okay. All
David,
right.
that also explains why he worked with Val. He was their boss.
Yeah, Val was the boss. So yeah. Fucking shit. You know. Yeah, and now I'm going to be pissed if Kara is no good, because I have all this merch, I have all this stuff around that we
Yeah.
spent hundreds of dollars on, and uh,
Well, you know what, Ragnar, that's obviously a connection to me that I know was my father. And let's see if that's I don't want to get him into a tough spot, but I get this feeling there's more darkness around all of them than we understand as well. Um,
yeah, because this picture and everything was keeping the bad guys out. So I don't believe Kara is evil. David might have his doubts. Cassie, she's been deceptive but not evil. Uh, and uh, so okay, and also let's do this route too. True benevolent Levick and true benevolent Cassie, we require your presence as of this moment in time.
why don't we go to Torn Call?
Well, that name was also the same as what happened with Wodar. It got shifted and changed, but I can do that as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
So
feel that with the Wodar. I feel the connection there. I I wanted to talk about that today in the session because I felt something that I wanted to talk about with that.
okay,
There's something that I feel is like, and maybe the same thing might be happening to you.
okay. Why don't we just go into that while we're waiting for somebody to talk here? So
Okay. All right. Well, this is where I wanted to talk to Braun or to somebody as well. So I'll just say one true benevolent Braun, if you're around, I appreciate you to come in to have a conversation with me, with through Chris. Is I feel that there was something that the change um, happens because of us. Like it's you don't want to think of yourself as this kind of power, but we are where we had it's almost like we go back, integrate with the higher self, and we become. They say, "Oh, it's the person they're saying is now is oh, it's but we are them, Wodar.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, we are that embodiment. Yeah, you're.
but we actually become them. You know what I mean? We end up being there. Like
Mhm.
it's, and it almost feels like wrong because we may have some time in Lanulos, or we may do this, we may do that, but I've always felt this a little bit is that I become Wodar, but it's different now. It's because we've changed it. We changed what it is.
Yes. Okay. 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 I'm getting a validation to that, where it's like remembering in reverse, kind of thing.
Remembering in reverse. It's kind of like, and so Wodar has changed so much because of us, because of me, and now that it's not the same anymore. He's
I
different.
get it. Okay, that's making a lot of sense. I was wondering why this kept shifting. I mean, the base information has always remained.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
base truths have always remained. Uh, so, Okay, the energy is going up considerably the more we're talking here. I mean, it's getting to
Yeah.
this really high level here. So, all right.
Because I was really the reason why I was really stuck on it. I felt a sadness and I was really upset about it. Going because I remember telling you this. I was like, a world without Wodar just makes me feel sick because I feel like we need this. But what it is it's me kind of more embodying, if that makes sense. Like the version of me and everything that I've been through whatever lives is
Mhm.
also Wodar's library. That it's shifted. It's like the library, and Braun has accepted this. Just they just didn't want to tell us. It's shifted to merge more of us into what that was because it's not needed anymore.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. I got a
It's
validation.
still my, and this is where the whole beings have different names. They shift and change, and then they look for that change. They sometimes will change who the name
Or go back to a name that's of a higher vibration of
or
some
of
kind.
a higher vibration.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we are. There we are. There we are. So,
I still think it's a what I don't understand what Braun can explain to me. I feel like I'm going back to Wodar for some reason. I was really bothered with that, but because that's where he was saying that is you, or that kind of where they always go, it is you. But I never got that with Braun. Like I didn't. I felt like is Braun absorbing Wodar, and that's why Wodar's going to be gone because you don't. There is people don't die, and I was thinking, yeah, I guess it's part of all the library, but I still felt like the library of Wodar is still there. It's just
yeah.
shifted. It has
It
all
just,
the knowledge. It's just
yeah.
shifted.
Yeah. It just, yeah. That's really all. I'm getting you 100% on this because it's, I'm
Yeah.
getting, so, all right. While we're in this extremely hyperactive energy state here, I mean, it is very spirit
Yeah.
charged. So now with this, Kara, I need you to speak currently to what just occurred and to what I just say. Give her a chance to speak to this, and then we go to each person.
Okay.
So I'm seeing, I feel Ragnar, you're here. I can feel you more than see you. And if I can hear you, we're good. But Levick and Cassie, I know I can hear you to a point. But with Kara, we will go to you first. Okay. Man, that almost takes my breath away. It's like this cool, like a mountain, like breeze. Like,
Mm.
okay. Wow.
And I feel the energies rise so much here. Yeah.
Yeah, that is almost taking breath away. That's how high that is. All right.
That's Braun's presence, I think. I hate
Yeah, yeah,
Braun.
you want, yeah, okay, I'm getting that too. Yeah, I can't see him, but you can definitely feel the presence.
Yeah.
So, Kara, we're gonna go, I will, my original question still stands. I need a direct answer, not a looped one, not that one where it goes to the spiral to the center. I need I need an answer. And my question is, actually, I'll refine it from what the fuck to how accurate is David? We'll go with something that's more refined than what the fuck, even though that's implied. It is because, okay, keep going. Keep going. Don't let any of the overlays interrupt you. You're gonna have to boost your gain here. Uh, did they have a hold on you guys? Like I know Nigel visited Tartaria. And I know certain vibrations cannot be in that environment. It's too clean. So, with that said, you can just put it in as short a sentence as you can, if just in case there's interference.
I just picked up because he is clean. He's just like we have been, and everybody else has been misled or infiltrated. But there's Nigel is still okay. Like that's what I'm getting.
Then why
is that correct, Kara?
Why did David pick
You didn't
up
say
on
Nigel is Simon. He's saying I think that he was picking up that the person he's linked to, that he's taking orders from, is Simon. The
Brad, not the Brad,
or not the Brad, the yeah,
blonde-haired idiot,
blonde-haired idiot, yeah. But why is he taking orders from him?
Yeah. See, this would explain why there was always some kind of chaos in their wake. So that we couldn't discern.
And he was deceived as well, is what I'm kind of picking up. But
all right. Yeah, okay, I got a yes to that. Thank you for the direct answer. So why
but I'm picking up people knew he was deceived. What's with that?
There's something else here. Kara, don't pull that away.
Everyone knew he was deceived. So many of you knew he was deceived. Knew how it would play out.
You knew exactly how this would play out. Is this why we couldn't tell, like some people couldn't tell what Nigel actually looked like? Yes. Is David correct? Yes or no? Is he Simeon or not? Okay. Now keep going with what you were just going to say. Keep going. Because I'm not delivering any more bigger messages surrounding this until everybody gets their shit together. So just, there cannot be hesitations. You know my policies on this. So just say it. He's one of the ones with Valiant Thor. I fully agree. I agree. That's not new news. So,
why are they with the yield? And when we're so against it, we have to look at it now as infiltration to us.
Yes. Well, I have to treat this as complete infiltration, no matter who was victimized or not. I have to see this as full and complete infiltration. So there's something in that ghost box session too that you guys were hinting at in there. I know that for a fact because I recognize voices in that.
Can I ask a question? Why can you tell him the truth and the facts through the ghost box, but not through this kind of a channel?
Because this is more direct and ghost boxes are more yield oriented because they allow anything and everything to talk. It's an open mic night.
Okay, there. That makes sense. Open mic. Yeah.
So this is not an open mic night.
No, this could get people in trouble. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So now I do what? Wrote what? All right, I'll give it a try. I'll do what David did. Let's see this. So I'll do my more elaborate one then. Yeah. I now revoke and renounce any and all ties, bindings, contracts, entanglements, programs, strings, and agreements made with the group known as the Mosen and any and all of their factions. This includes Nigel's Misfit Toy faction that we nicknamed them, or the Dread Pirate Roberts, Nigel Roberts, as well as any and all other factions that we have heard of thus far in the Mosen, going back all the way to the beginning. I do this in all dimensions, expressions, timelines, collapsing, invading timelines, and all multiversal, omniversal, and super omniversal situations. within any and all energies and frequencies, seen, unseen, heard, unheard, felt, unfelt, and known and unknown. Mirrored across time and space were appropriate under the supervision of true benevolent source creator, true benevolent earth mother, and the true benevolent verses. It is forever so in all moments, all sessions, and expressions. Ooh.
I felt like just a bunch of stuff was crawling out of my hair at that time. That was a
Oh,
weird feeling.
that. Do you agree to the revocation?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I agree.
Oh, that is a change. That's curious. So,
That's weird. Anyways, I just feel like somebody's brushing my hair.
Kara, do you care to explain that one? Hello? Somebody's mad. Hold on. Boy, the energy is dramatically shifting here. Hold on.
Huh.
Okay. There's an overlay trying to come down through the tech here. Hold on. I'm sensing like this cellophane layer coming in. Hang on.
I feel that the one true benevolent brawn is doing something to me. I
Let's
just feel it
see.
go down my spine.
Let me look and see what's going on here. There's somebody behind you. I can see that. Hang on. Hello? Hello? Identify yourself, please. Identify yourself, please. Last chance. Identify yourself. Can't stay silent.
Who is it?
Who's talking to me, please? Who is speaking? Wow. It just went dead silent.
Yeah.
All I spotted was an insectoid messing with your back, and
Oh Jesus, yeah. I was just feeling that. That was weird. What were they trying to do?
they're usually after spinal fluid or something with the brain. I want to see what they were doing.
Just a weird timing.
Wow. They were probably a designated distractor, though, I bet.
Yeah.
So, Kara, you have more questions to answer. Hello? We are in session now. I'm not trying to be a rude dick, but actually, you know what? I still see you, Cassie and Levick. So, Levick, how about I ask you for a minute? True benevolent Levick, you have an edifice in the yard. You have one of the only edifices left here. So just, uh, yes, yes. Okay, and true benevolent spirit. You know what? I'm going to go for broke and say true benevolent Chuck Norris as well. You've been very helpful to me and very helpful to us and very helpful to everybody. So just if you're present, that would be wonderful as well. So oh, why am I getting the silence? I can clearly see
Someone's
you.
going to be the first to say it. Braun, will you tell us? You're not going to hold to any kind of yield.
Come again? Thank you for your honesty. Contracts upon contracts, I understand. Can you identify, be more specific to a specific one that is causing this weird entanglement? Give me one name, one area, one target. Come again? Come again one more time. He's just saying the ties that bind between what? I didn't catch that last word. Between these beings and their point of origin. This makes no sense. Are you saying these particular planets?
I'm picking up some of this. It's who they've always been tied to, I guess. And we're just not seeing all the links. That's
Uh-huh.
what I'm seeing.
But these people aren't evil. No, never
No.
said they were.
No. But they have bindings and ties and agreements as well.
Okay. So Braun, Tribunal.
Is that whole conversation of gray area again?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. But what else? Why won't they answer beyond a certain tier? And it gets murky.
Ron, have I got this right? What you're giving me is it's like you want to pull somebody out from that's let's say they're really dark and they're bad, but you reach out your hand to save them from falling and you bring them back in. It's the same kind of thing as an agreement or contract where you're when you're hopeful. This is like the hopefulness of Loki. It's the same thing. That becomes a contract and agreement. You're hopeful that they will come out of their darkness. People also don't want to let Nigel fall into a darkness path because they believe with the shifting of timelines and everything else, they see him as good, even though there is what I'm getting. There is
Mhm.
some other timelines or other sides that have had not done the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So one of his channels that he said to me at late at night one time was, and I wrote it down. I can't remember where it's at at the moment. He said something about they were tired of having to break bread with the enemy just to appease like greater agreements.
Yeah,
And
and that
when in
makes a
fact
lot of
it was out
sense.
of their nature to do so. Uh, and I that stuck with me.
See, Chris, I think you and I especially are trying to show the path of you don't have to do any of that. We're trying to show everybody else the path. You don't need to do that. You don't have to.
Yeah. Now, none of them have to do that, and I'm declaring that to anybody listening. You don't have to. You don't have to do any of it.
They're looking at it as the better good. We're looking at it as more black and white. And
Mm.
we're trying to push that path to say we say certain things are just unacceptable. I actually feel like this goes all the way back to the bigger conversation of all of it is where I remember my father saying to me when I go to heaven and I talk to God, I'm going to let him have a piece of my mind about how he's harmed all these children. That is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was an example of saying black or white, standing your ground, saying I don't agree with it. I think it's shit. I don't agree with you. He wanted to take it to the top. You know what I mean? To say I'm going to let him know this is
Mm-hmm.
absolute bullshit. So I remember him saying that many times before he passed away. He wasn't
Got that
scared to
right.
just say it.
I just heard to get that right.
Yeah.
Boy, this atmosphere is very charged. It's very like the molecules themselves are charged here. It's
Yeah.
like, oh. there's not contention. There is maybe a little anxiety, but there's more.
You know why? When we talked about that, when we go back and we're talking about Wodar, I feel like I am going to some point when I pass away. That's where I am. That's where my consciousness will be, but I will be more embodied to feel like this is me.
Mhm.
Which is the weird part. I've always felt a separation with Wodar as a little bit of a different person, a different personality, and which I highly respect. But somehow I feel like it's more like there's been more of an acceptance of some of my qualities are going to be there into the like that's the new library, and maybe that's a decision of a new name,
Mhm.
or something like that, because I've felt something like that. So it was maybe that's the thing that we're picking up here, Chris, is that we're trying to say we're trying to firmly stand our ground to make a difference and change to how all of that is. You and I are especially, and we're influencing everybody else around us to say no, put down the spear, the sword into the ground, and say we don't agree with this any of this shit. Because the
Mhm.
truth is you between you and I, we're the ones that have said no to the yield, and then we've had our friends say, yeah, we agree with you, we're with you on this, and it's growing, and
Mhm.
that's what they want to stop. They don't want that. we're
Yeah.
we're trying to change that to say no. um am I right with that?
Yes. I feel there's a yes to that. Yes. I think they all are hoping that we keep talking like this. So
Yeah,
it's because this shows complete sovereignty. So
yeah.
um so wait, somebody doesn't sure else doesn't like this though. Um so again, I still need, and also we're figuring it out as we're going along. Kara,
Yeah.
Kara, I need you to please step forward in your full self here. Because I sense you are actually caring completely about what happens here. And Lena Vessa, I'm sensing this because we sense, and Susan does too. She's a raw nerve when it comes to this, and she can sense usually when she's being deceived. And there hasn't really been deception, it's just been omission. So, and to me, omission is still a lie. So, omitting a fact to protect or omitting a fact to maybe because there's this contract that you're upholding somewhere.
Huh. I remember feeling this way with some of the stuff that I was doing with my business. That
Mm-hmm.
was if I told the client that truly what happened, um, they wouldn't understand it,
Mm-hmm.
and they would just get angry and they would dismiss me, and I'm out of there. I'm gone. You know what I mean? And so I wouldn't even be able to have a chance to explain it or have them understand more knowledge around this, because it's it's too much of a concept for them to even want to think about or get. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've felt that before. And so what you do is you omit certain things. You don't tell them,
Okay.
yeah, that
See.
that I did this, or I knew about this and I let it happen. I like if I said I did see that there was something of a potential thing, but I didn't close the door on it because I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but it turned out to be an issue. And then the next thing the client would say is, well, it's all your fault now. It's all your fault. And you're going, hey, I noticed it, but I didn't think it was going to be a problem. How is it suddenly my fault? You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that I'm picking up.
Okay. I feel this is correct. Now, in your guys' opinion, would we be able to comprehend what it is you're omitting under our current level of knowledge and information? Oh, that was direct. No.
I was picking up that we just need to be able to listen.
Okay.
That's what I was getting, because maybe that was somebody else gave me that.
Okay.
We just need to listen. Like we just need to absorb.
Okay. Let's see here. I'll go off feeling. Okay. What I'm getting feeling wise is this, yes, we could comprehend anything given enough of,
Yeah.
time and, instruction on this. But damn.
This goes to that there is a okay. If I tell me if I'm getting this right,
Hmm.
this goes to that there is multiple timelines and there's dark versions of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
so
I get that.
therefore,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
there's darker versions of ourselves with work with poor choices, um, and but our soul and our is chooses the path, and we're choosing that as an example now, saying we don't follow the yield, we're following it's black and white, good or bad. But they're trying to explain to us, but there's lots of variations of that gray.
Mm-hmm.
There's some that
Yeah,
are just lightly white, you couldn't tell that it's, but there's a bit of, it's not fully clear white, if you're saying white and dark black
yeah,
kind of thing. And there's lots of shades of gray along the way, and that's the part that we always think of things as a man, this feels like deja vu to me right
yes,
now.
yes. I think. Oh my God, yeah. That this is a major deja vu, like it's a timeline switch, but at the same time, there was one thing, one detail you guys gave me. Don't pull it away. What was it? Come again? That makes no sense.
This is the part that I feel like the part that they think that we'd be very unhappy to know is that there's a lot more gray area than just the white and black in
Uh-huh.
between, and we hate that. We hate it.
Yeah, because the ways we would never act versus, yes, yes, yes. Okay, keep going. There was one thing again. You tell me one more time. That one thing you were putting in my head a moment ago.
Hmm.
Louder, louder. Oop. Okay. Well, I'm getting this. This was in quantum. So once more, so I have it right. Hmm. I don't know about that. If I'm interpreting this correct, they're acting like there is no main bad guy or no bad guy that we're at war with.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, that makes no sense.
Hmm.
Setting of the gods and the changing of resources around the lines on a map.
Yeah, this is where the part that they said we would just not understand.
So I know
We
in a
have to we have to
spiritual
have
sense,
our heart space open and try to do our best to understand
okay.
this,
Well,
because
I'm
this
getting
this is a
yes.
deeper meaning behind all this.
I know from a spirit perspective, there really isn't the whole black and white thing. Everything goes back into spirit. I get that part, but negating that right here, right now, right here, right now, how because there's obvious rights and wrongs. So yeah, so okay, you're agreeing with me on this, but all of a sudden it's like the idea of us. I know the war with the darkest powers. Yeah, that's still true. Yes. So give me more. I'll decide whether I comprehend it or not. Just give me more.
Yeah, please.
Interesting. All right. If what you're giving me is true, you're saying I applied a label where it was not completely true? Hmm. All right. But this is based on information you gave. Back, this was years ago, we nicknamed any of the forces that would, benevolent forces that would help out, we nicknamed them like the fire department because they, like when you need help, you're dialing 911 kind of thing. So we said fire department, police department, paramedic, we just kind of went with the generalities,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, saying, they would come in, bust, and arrest like what we've been seeing. So that I don't see that that's not true. I've seen too many things being changed by beings being removed. The whole, the Mosen were busting people as a result. And there's police forces, things of this nature. But it's like with the whole universal law thing. There's no such thing as a universal law that we have to create it here, kind of thing. So
I feel like I'm picking up that it's it's like, how it's like where you see these things kind of happen, but it's am I right with this, that but it didn't go down like that? That's just for you to understand that this is how it got resolved, but it's actually not. It's like you're seeing it that way so you can feel like it's okay, done, because that's how you'd want it to actually go down.
Okay, it's based on my own bias. I'm seeing it through a biased lens, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's what I'm seeing or
Okay.
understanding.
Okay, so is there not law enforcement like this? Of course there is. Of course there is. There was even a line in the EVPs on the ghost box that said, there was a male voice that said, "So are cops then?" And
Right.
and I'm going, okay, this is pointing it to this conversation. That's synchronistic because this.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going with what's being said because it's fascinating, but also obnoxious at the same time. So if you want to, I don't want to report anything that isn't true. So I would like, because I was originally going to talk about all the, like, have the Mosen talk about their factions and all this other stuff. So, and what they were working on and everything. So what? Ooh, somebody doesn't like this line of questioning here. I know it's interference, but uh,
Well, then that'll help us get to it. Why does somebody not want us to know this information? What would they benefit from us not knowing?
because getting rid of things that aren't true and expanding further benefits us.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't benefit whoever was butthurt. So
Okay.
There's our line in the sand. Benefits us, doesn't benefit them. So
Yeah.
there's the black and white thing going on. So are you saying there are no actual real defenders that you can call on? Not true. Okay. All right. So
Just the ones that we think of as they're policing or they're doing this. That's wrong. They everybody's out for themselves. I hate to say it that way, but kind of.
bingo.
Yeah.
They form their own little cliques and they form their own little militias, but some are out for themselves, some are like pirates, other ones are more like like the Valkyrie, where they actually do good. So
It's like everybody's just protecting soul family. That's kind of
yes, yes, that's exactly what I got over. Resounding yes to that.
yeah.
Everybody's protecting their own.
Yeah.
And like what Elena said yesterday, there's a line from Peacemaker that actually makes sense, where the father, when they're in this parallel universe, Peacemaker's father says, everybody was accusing him of being a Nazi, and in that universe, and it was like he goes, "No, I'm not a Nazi." He goes, "They're like, well, why don't you take care of the problem then here? Why are you participating in all this?" And he goes, "I can only take care of what's right in front of me."
Mm-hmm.
And I can't do any more than that. I can only do what's right in front of me.
Right.
And then you find out that version of his father is actually a good guy in that universe, but he can't change the world. He can change just his area. And there we go.
There
Over
we go. That's
resounding,
it.
over
That's it.
resounding. Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
We could have understood this. We just needed to kind of get some yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot
More
of sense.
perspective on what exactly? What perspective on hmm? Uh-huh. Come again? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's something that Elena and Elena was saying yesterday that now I'm remembering. I was wondering how this got wiped from my head, but now I get it. Uh, where they were just living their life and doing their work and taking care of what was right in front of them. That
Yeah.
they may be in a cleaner environment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the epitome of protected. Nothing is.
Yeah.
And that's the shocker to some people in this community, is because their bias is that it's an absolute.
Yeah. And they feel like all the shit just mostly happens here. It doesn't this like they're
As
above
above,
that.
so is below. As above, so is below, because
Yeah.
it's happening all over the place. And yes, okay. Is there another point that we can take away from this? Like, say, with David's situation and Richie's situation, uh, and with Susan and all of them. I know what you're saying rings true, 100%. So give me another one. Give me another one. Because it is hard to trust, given the fact that there has been so much fluctuation. Huh? But I do feel the love coming from everybody. That's been genuine. And the events, as the bigger events as they currently stand, seem genuine. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, now I'm going to shift a little bit here, just a tad. And a couple personal things. I'm going to go back to this. And under the new stance of, yes, it's shades of gray type of thing. Like, needs of the many sometimes outweigh the needs of the one or the few, a whole Spock mentality here.
Mm-hmm.
Us being removed from those environments, say Tartaria, Lanulos, and those types of situations, did it fall under that same exact premise? Absolutely.
Yeah, Tartaria is not just fully healed and beautiful. The area that we're looking at is, but they have their own struggles of people interfering and doing things and doing not good.
Like here, no
Like
different than
here.
here.
Yeah.
and it's a more pristine environment that they have devices that keep Orions and vampires and crap like that and boogeymen and everything out. They just have higher technology that they can detect things faster, but they're not perfect. So,
Yes.
and not omnipotent, not gods, not all this. Yeah, I get the whole thing. They we're remembering the camaraderie and a better, cleaner environment is what we're remembering, and
Yes. Our bias
so,
to this stuff.
huh?
It's our bias,
It's
our
our bias.
desire in a way too, that builds it like, oh, we're thinking of it this way.
They
And
tried
who
telling
wants
me
to tell
that
us like, oh no, it's not as great as you think it is? Who says
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah. I, like with my with home with them, they're on Lioneless, for instance. Sitting around going, how could anybody not like this?
Yeah, of course.
And 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 the whole thing is, they're like, we still go to work, we still come home, we're still tired, we're still worn out, and we still play. And that's what they've been saying to me for months. And it's like,
Yeah.
and that we may have a seemingly cool job, uh, and we go around and do things. We help with the timelines and all this, but it's still no different than the life you live. And they kept trying to tell me that. I'm like, but this, and this. Yes, yes. You're seeing it from your perspective because of the fact. Okay, now I'm getting this now too. Because the fact that maybe you've been isolated for a little bit. Maybe it's how do I put it? Come on, don't slip. Like, say if you were on a desert island for a little bit, and you came back into society with all the things that are here, you'd be like, woo, oh, good. I'm glad I'm back in here. You get back into the swing of things, and it goes back into not a melancholy. That's the wrong choice of words. It's more of a swing, the swing of things. You're back into the swing of things. Bingo. That's the example that I interpreted it correctly. So, uh, so what are you trying to tell me? Uh, I get it. So say Earth is opened up to all of you right now. People would have that momentary reaction of, this is awesome, which I have to not lie, it would be. Oh, but
Like the
then
new
naturally,
iPhone came out.
huh?
Like the new iPhone comes out.
Yeah, yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it. But at the end of the day, it's still you're in the swing of things, and it's not always the fantastical adventure that you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not trying to be a ball buster. They're saying not
No.
at all.
No. It's a long way to the point of this Star Trek world. People say that they're going to. They feel like it's going to just like boom, and it's not anything like that.
No, but there are some things coming down the pipe though that are like it. But
Yeah.
people think it's this glorious future. They got to get the whole glorious and glory thing out of it completely.
Yeah.
Before that happens, that's got to go. And biases aside, that has to go. Uh,
Yeah.
I get it. I fully get it. So there's still one aspect of this. You want me to very badly know. And you want both of us to badly know this. You want the other guys to know this too. So I'm going to have to remember this. Or cut this section out and just show this to them.
Mhm.
Uh, so, one other point. You want me to know something very badly, but you're hoping I figure it out. Give me a hint. Give me an Easter egg here. Something to interpret, chew on here. Oh, I see. If you were back out in your homes out here, what would you do? Hmm. The goal is like wouldn't the goal be to yeah, of course, yes. What would I do? Well, I just go back to the life I had before I came here.
I look at it like I still want to find ways to improve myself,
Yes.
to be better.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you're on the mark, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I had a peaceful existence. Uh a peaceful life, just yes. Okay. It's like like what Joanna's always telling me that I have to learn how to be able to relax. And I found out, because of being around Kieran, that's more like a mirror.
Yeah.
I'm seeing things that I went through. And yeah, there were deficiencies, shortages, things of this nature where I have a hard time focusing is because that's what they label ADHD. That is where you have the dopamine deficiency where you can't relax.
That's
And
where you take that kid out into nature and you watch the clouds for an hour.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The thing of it is, he would sit there for like maybe 5 minutes and then want to go boing, and it's like
Yeah.
so. That's right, and then Joanna's right too, where we have to find time to just sit
Hmm.
and just go to the beach
Hmm.
and do this. Okay, they're saying I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Okay, there's something really bad that you want me to understand about not just that. There's something that's capped onto this, like stapled to this. What? Uh, hmm? Come again? You know what? Oh, hmm. Okay. Okay. This ties into something I was dreaming about too. Um, well, like when I got up. It was like 5, 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And went to the bathroom, went back, laid back down, and then I don't usually wake up till I hear the alarm or I hear her hair dryer or something or the shower or something
Yeah.
like that. And I went into this creepy dream sequence where this was along the same lines as that one thing I was telling you where it was just me, Joanna, and Kieran living in the same house.
Yeah.
And it was a creepy thing and it's in that generational home, but we were in this really toxic situation. And uh this was further along where she that version of her left me, and then I was stuck with nothing. And this was like 7 or 8 years from now. And uh and more of that started I started seeing that like somebody was trying to show me something to correct, like in the timelines. And
Yeah.
yes, because again, it goes back to the multiple versions of that are in operation. Are you saying that this is becoming not necessarily singularity? That's the wrong choice of words. But we obviously are much further along, given the fact that we felt deja vu a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That we obviously did a jump there. That's painfully obvious to me.
It's
So
obvious because yeah, I could feel that. It was
uh, you can tell when you get the deja vu blip, that's the tree at work there. So
yeah.
yeah, that's a Mandela effect when you get that. So that every single time, that's
Yeah.
it. And even me mentioning it, I can feel it. So it's are you saying
You know what?
that's
It was
interesting?
the gray area thing. Like not everything that was like total deja vu. Like, oh my God, that hit me. I almost felt like it was like I've been through that many times. Um,
Yes. Yes. It's
for
like,
me,
yeah, and I also heard most optimum self.
okay.
Most optimum self. Are you saying it's almost like the tree is deciding who continues? Yes.
Oh,
Okay. But what about all the versions that are happy out there doing things like in parallel universes? Not that. Yes, but those are other world lines. That has to remain. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But you're talking about the little hair timelines. You're talking
they're
about the
being. I
little.
was picking up. They're being trimmed, right? Because it's They're not
Yes,
needed.
yes, and not pruned in a bad way like you see in Loki. No,
No, not
uh,
pruned that way. They're
it's a
just
tree.
it's
It's a tree
natural.
cutting off. It's a tree cutting off.
Yeah.
And as we're jumping, we're moving away from those that are just falling off.
Yeah. They fall off somehow.
Okay, correct. They were hoping I would go this route. Okay,
Yeah.
so now, oh well, yeah, that is changing. So in the past hour, what has occurred? Past hour with that obvious deja vu. What did we jump away from? Hmm. You wanted a black or white answer, they'll give it. Less sovereignty, more sovereignty. All right.
Ah, yeah, that seems like it was. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So again, this also begs the question, going back to, say, again, Lonulus, Tartaria, New Asgard, Valhalla, any of those, wherever we happen to be from or hail from.
Yeah.
That's still certainly okay. Yeah, I hear you. But again, it still is a life that you came here to experience this and then you go there. Yes. But this also begs the question, is there a stasis chamber somewhere, or is it just we've come here and now and we're shifting about? Shifting is a good word to explain it. Okay.
Shifting is also the gray areas of going down the path. That's the timeline jump. Which are you going more to, if we're saying black and white, not saying light dark, but just black white, are you going more on the white side, or are you going more on the dark side of the gray area?
Yeah.
That's the timeline.
Bingo. Okay, that's um yeah, and we're doing it correct, obviously, by coming to these realizations. That's why you guys don't always tell us. So yeah. Uh
Because if you tell us we didn't make a decision for the timeline jump, we wouldn't have the deja vu because we
yeah.
didn't decide. We were just told, and
Mhm.
that's not a decision point.
That's not a decision point, that's servitude. That's true.
Yeah.
Uh, so that would you do that? Like, would you go to your neighbor and start talking to him? And they brought this up yesterday too, talking to him like you would like one of the guides or something. And no,
No.
not at all. Ta-da! They're saying good. So you get it. So, but on the flip side of this, we all have to back each other up as well. Yes. Okay. Um, no question, because of you're sticking to soul family
Yeah.
fully, completely. Yes.
Yeah. So how does it look? Let's go to the thought around Wodar. If I just because I just want to, I know that we've kind of determined that it's we have influenced, and it's like it's an upgraded or up, I shouldn't say upgraded because that's maybe but updated version of Wodar.
Mhm.
And so and it would be the same for Torn Call, possibly different names because that's why we're seeing it with all these past things. There's it's the same being, but they may have changed. Look at how Poseidon changed, and suddenly he's not even recognizable from
Mhm.
where, and he doesn't want to be called Enki because he doesn't. That's not what he represents. That's the same thing that's kind of happening to both of us. But is that because we embody that more in the future, like in as we pass away here, we go back to that and that's what I'm feeling is happening.
Yeah.
And we may as just this go to Lanulos and do that and live our life and have some time there, but ultimately when we don't just ourselves just go back to spirit, and maybe we do, but the library we will embody Wodar and whatever.
Yeah, I believe you because as you're moving along, you're becoming a more optimum version of yourself. Like this version of you now, your younger self wouldn't recognize.
Wouldn't
So,
recognize. Yeah,
and I feel this is the same thing. It's just us further along down the road
down there
that we're
as well.
seeing as like a guide. So,
Yeah,
yeah, and yeah, okay. And it's just changing perceptions and perspectives as we go along. They're saying context or spoilers, like Doctor Who says, where well, that's an interesting choice right there. But for words, but changing perspectives and perceptions, you may be wiser as this version, and we are okay. Come again. We are perceiving that is more of the higher self, which you could say that, or oversoul, you can say that, but it's the better you. Okay,
better you.
better you.
See,
And
I
given
had this. What came to me on this was because I was having an argument with my wife, and I never felt this, understood this. She just felt like I was holding her back,
Mhm,
and I mean, I had a terrible feeling of that was the last thing I'd ever want to do to any person, let alone my wife. I
mhm,
I I was suddenly just felt like just completely filled with emotion. I was very upset, and it came to me this realization of people holding you back. It's holding you back from your best version of yourself, and that's the
mhm,
last thing I wanted to do. Was and she was putting a little on thick and a heavy a little bit, but I needed that at the moment because it was a realization too of all of this with the whole thing that we're talking about with Wodar. I had suddenly realized that there was a deeper connection with that whole thing than I understood. When they sometimes would say, "Well, it is you," and I always felt a disconnect until more recently felt like, no, it's the same. Why is it feeling more of the same now?
mhm.
Um, I am Wodar. Wodar was to, but in the representation of Wodar was something different, but I've added to it now, and it's
Yeah,
become something different. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, and exactly. Yeah, they're saying we're getting it, we're starting to get
Which
it.
is why they do that. Why they have an avatar, because it's improving themselves. They hope that that avatar will make them better,
Yeah, yeah, and that's the oversoul, but there's also us
or
here.
the oversoul. So how does it work with Wodar and Braun? Because I feel that that's the same connection somehow that way, and that's why that when Odin was trying to explain it, he was going, well, Wodar is Braun. It's just a almost a middle area, like you've kind of tried to explain. Oh, sorry, my
Mhm.
pen made the camera go off. Um, and but I always think of Braun as was just the start in the Creator Council, and it was and it wasn't because of how that loop, if that makes sense. That's why they say, "Oh, you're from the past and the future,"
Mhm.
because it all circles and links together. Am I right with that, Braun?
I'm getting a yes to that. So
Yeah.
it's
So it's a wild thing to kind of conceptualize. Really wild.
yeah. Uh, It's a loop, but not a loop. It's more of
It's
a.
not a loop, but it's like a, I don't know how to. Yeah. Okay.
Hang on, I saw Susan did something here that's poignant. Give me a second.
It's interesting that Susan is thinking all of
Yeah.
this stuff at the same time we're talking about it.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a synchronicity. I
Yeah.
knew to look at it. That was a synchronicity. Uh, trying to.
She's picking up exactly right.
Yep. She's 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I can word this. What I can do is I can make a snippet of this and that is not has anything personal. I can show them what
Yeah.
we're talking about too.
Yeah.
Uh, that's I could do that. That's not an issue. Uh,
So, Kara, do you want to explain why David's picking this up? Is it just something specific between you and David? Or is it something
There's that. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Before I complete that there, I'm going to. I'm going to get a little more here first. It's something between both of you. I know Cassie and him are closer than like it's like how you, Susan, and Thorsten are. So, oh, but Cassie, come again? Hmm. Okay, hang on. I'll type this idea out while it's still in my head. Okay. Oh, that simmer a minute. But interesting.
Yeah, that's good explanation.
Yeah. I'll let it simmer for a minute. Uh, so the yeah, I'm but at one point I'm still confused on is the whole tripwire thing. I know that comes to the Tronverse, all of that information. So uh and the SSP stuff, because if Nigel and them, well, that whole thing wasn't exactly as we thought. What changed here? I mean, I know the multiverse of madness, but there's still a set of experiences, though, so that we know of. So, come again? Oh, you're giving me this in visuals. It's going along the same lines as the optimum us. Yes. Are you saying like the optimum us that I've seen, optimum versions of people that I've been seeing for years isn't exactly the higher self? It's just more along the lines of if we would choose a different path, and that's where we're reaching for. Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
that's what I
Got it.
feel. Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I was shown that nightmare sequence this morning, because that was the darker one. Yes, it was because of certain things that were undealt with. That was a lower vibrational timeline, little branch off of the current world line. Yes. Okay. Yes, don't over complexify it. They said that it's, I nailed it. Okay.
This goes to where everybody goes, oh, we're on the best timeline. But it's more individual, isn't it? It's way more complicated than people think.
You nailed it. You
Yeah.
nailed it. Nailed it.
You could be on your own personal optimal timeline, but that doesn't mean everybody is.
Correct.
Yeah.
You nailed it, 100%. They're not all traveling with you. It's very rare they do.
Yeah.
That's why they kept saying tighter circle, deeper roots. So
that is that.
That is that. Yeah. In a smaller circle, because look at all them.
So you can, yeah. It sounds like you can drag some people along you, like your family. You can up the ante and bring them with you.
Yes.
But they're choosing to, in a way, like
They're choosing to. They're still choosing it. If they come along, they're choosing it. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
And friends too, same thing. So yeah, nailed it. Okay. Fascinating. Okay. So I kind of knew this one part, but yeah, that gives a broader perspective on this. So
Coming from your perspective, how do you traverse those timelines? It seems like it's way more complex than a person could understand. Millions and millions of combinations. Billions, really.
this is really odd. The first feeling I get, it's almost like they're not experiencing that.
Huh.
It's like we are, they're not. Like
Okay.
we're in the eye of the storm.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Here we are. Are you saying, like, say, Lonulus, or Tartaria, or um, New Asgard, or any of them? Are you guys experiencing a Mandela effect? Yes or no? Only by feeling, not by actual thing, you just said.
right.
You're aware it's happening. It's just that
You mean
uh,
happening for us or happening for you as well?
yes and no. It's like what I was told about the about also things, like the past being the future, future being the past, kind of thing. The MDTF. I said, why don't you reconcile this by resetting the timelines in the MDTF? And Elena got really butthurt at me. And she goes, no, that would be monstrous. And I said, reset it back to the place before it got fucked up. And they're like, no, that's a Thanos move. No.
Yeah.
Because cultures that have like their future is a past, past the future, like Tumbans, that would
It would
cease to
change who
exist.
they are or completely make them disappear in a way. Like they
Yeah,
would
it
be something
would.
else.
Yeah, it would. So this is what we're experiencing here. That's why there's a version of Earth that's more of a nexus on the Yggdrasil tree, with all the openings and everything. So you're saying on your planets and then your dimensional spaces, you guys are not experiencing a Mandela effect of any kind. You're just aware of its existence. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is an Earth thing? Yes. Really? But as I've seen divergent versions of species before. No, I haven't. What do you mean? You've seen divergent versions of humanity.
Huh.
Okay. So, all right. But wouldn't those different world lines also create different versions of the aliens and stuff out there too? Yeah, of course. But, um, all right. Now it's getting into confusing territory. What I think this is what you're afraid of, that I wouldn't be able to comprehend this next part. Okay.
You're onto something that this is like a whirlwind or
It's a localization. It's more of a
but it's a hurricane,
localization.
but it's basically Midgard. And it's why is that? Uh
Yeah, okay.
I
It's
always
something
got that it's more of the center of the storm in a way.
yeah, it's the center of the storm. And the multiverse has storms that go through it too. But one thing, it's something these two, Villanelle and Vesta, said years ago, and it kind of stuck in my craw a little bit, where they said there were no timeline shifts and there were no Mandela effects, that it was more of a localization type of thing. Is this what you guys meant? And you threw a bit of truth at us that it didn't seem to fit? Yes. Okay. So you guys again are not experiencing jumps. Nope.
Oh.
Okay. Interesting. So
Everybody makes the mistake of calling this a prison planet. It's more of a growth planet, like a
growth
personal
planet, that's good term for it. Yeah.
growth. It's personal growth kind of thing in a big soup,
Yeah.
so to
Yeah,
speak.
I would call it a chaotic soup, but that's probably
But
not the best
it's
term either.
yeah,
But um
lots of potential choices given here.
yeah, and they want the optimum form of it to be the one that comes out in this
There
time.
is still a one that comes out in the end of it.
Yeah, there's one that comes out on the end of it that's everybody's on top, and that's the one they want. That's why they're trying to get us to be our optimum self.
Mhm.
So okay, how do you view it then? What does the Earth does it look like from where you are then? If it's so shifty like that, if you could give me like a weird like telescope eye view or something like that. Uh, hmm.
I remember we asked this to, I don't know who we were channeling, if it was Odin or somebody, but we were channeling and asked them the question to say, um, so how do you connect if there's multiple versions of us? How are you connecting to us? And he says, why would you think that we're only connecting with you and not the other version of you? Because we are. And it's like, oh, great. Now I got to think about that. How many of us are you talking to?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But they act like though it's a singularity, but many. So it's
Yeah, exactly.
uh, so to them, and Vesa though, you act like we're not there. Correct. But given what I know of the propensity of now the multiverse and different world lines, have you two interacted with a me in a different universe? Hmm? Yes. Okay.
Have you
So,
interacted with the best version of himself, which would then be maybe Torn Call or whatever the name of the version is now? You
yes,
interact with him
that's still true. But you're from what I'm seeing, you're trying to get me to be my optimum self here to, so I'm trying to say, embody that.
yeah,
Yes?
embody that.
Okay. So, but if that already exists somewhere, what's the point?
It wouldn't, I'm picking up that's the whole, I don't know what the right term is, if it's paradox or if it's, if you don't do it here, it wouldn't have happened.
There,
But
it does correct. This is hard to explain things
because
like that.
you, even though you're going through it and you're experiencing it like it's the first time, it's kind of like it's expected of you, or this won't happen. That you do need to achieve the best version of yourself.
Yes, yeah, or these other things won't happen. Correct. Oh, because it mirrors through the multiverse. It's like in Marvel when Tony Stark says you mess with time, it messes with you back, and it
Yeah.
created a dark mirror of him as Doctor Doom. Uh, yeah, and then also the same thing with Kang when it was Victor Timely when he gets pulled out of time, and it was something he was never meant to do, and then it ended up creating all those variations of He Who Remains, and one
Yeah.
of them was the most evil one, which was Kang, and then the original one started out good, so it created the whole yin yang
Yeah.
spectrum. So, and
Exactly.
then when they undid that, it unwrote all the rest of them.
So here's
Uh,
what I'm picking up as well. Can you tell me if this is true? Not everybody has a version of themselves that expand the whole good to bad or gray area. Some are just in the middle of a certain section of gray area, so they
mhm.
don't ever become the best versions of themselves. Only certain
Correct.
people do
Correct.
that will achieve to that level, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
It's
That's what I'm
almost like
getting.
you're taking up a space of it, and you kind of move it. Maybe some might stay here and then a section of a move, but that's it. Like they don't necessarily span all of it. There's not a version of you that is, oh, this decision that made, not that wide, I guess, is if I got that right.
Yeah, you nailed it. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Uh,
think we're getting a little bit better understanding of it.
yeah, this is what they wanted. This is what they wanted us to understand this. So
It takes quite a, what I'm picking up, it takes quite a leap to be that best version of yourself, but you don't have to be the best version. It's just you want to achieve as much as you can, because that's how you get to be Torin Call. You know what I mean? With all his abilities and his capabilities, that's through the school of what you're going through now and learning
mhm.
everything. And
Yeah,
then that
okay.
adds to the entire oversoul.
Okay. Yes. Yes, and this is what we're picking up on. Yeah, so why also with it goes back to these other beings that we've been obviously deceived by. Um and why it's that gray area where say Nigel or any of them like Bennett or any of those why then if you're wanting us to be our optimum selves why then break bread with that and basically tote it as, anything but what it is? Uh, and I know you guys can get tricked too, but at the end of the day, well, why? That part still is kind of looming there. Because what? Think about this for a minute. Yeah, I wanted Band-Aid Rip. Of course I do.
Yeah.
They said most people say that.
No. I think I always do the same too. I go, yeah, that's what I want. And then when it comes, you're just like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You want it, then you bitch about it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
so what does that Band-Aid rip look like? Let's just do a hypothetical. And they're like, oh
There's a
crap.
lot of pain for everybody.
Yeah, they're saying, oh crap, he's doing his hypotheticals. Okay, so say Band-Aid rip it to the rest of whatever the rest of the thing is. You don't want that. Okay.
That goes down a very bad path.
Yes.
But
And about how would that, but I mean to the optimum self. I don't mean to whatever that pit is. Uh, I'm
and
talking.
this is the only argument of the yield. The yield is still what Val has decided is the best, what he believes mathematically and calculating to what would be the best outcome. But we disagree with it because there's a lot of people just manipulating and scamming in between there for their own benefit. That just seems really terrible. That's what I'm picking up.
Mhm.
To us, that is self-serving. It's too
Yeah,
self-serving.
they completely agree with our assessment on the way things
Too
are
self-serving.
operating. Yeah.
Knowing who Frere is as Trump, to me, he might be doing some good, but there's a total taking advantage for him and his family again. And I
Mhm.
just think it's
It's sickening.
sickening.
They couldn't agree more. So they completely agree. Well, not like in the yes sir type thing. No, that's not what
Yeah,
I'm saying. It's like it's the they're not humoring. They're actually
yeah,
saying
it's
yeah.
way too self-serving. All of it self-serving.
Hmm. Yeah. That
Let's start thinking about humanity here for a moment.
hmm And it goes back to what was said about the courts in the whole beginning of
Yeah,
uh,
was
the
if you
whole,
just do it for your, if you stop and think about it for self-serving, they're not liking the self-serving as well. Oh, did you feel pain? Maybe your butt hurt, and so therefore we're not going to listen to it. You have to
hmm
go there with the humanity doesn't deserve this path.
hmm
That's the conversation needs to be happening.
Correct, 110%.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, we'll go back to the whole yield contract bullshit for just a nanosecond here. How much of that were you guys listening to? And that includes today as well. Oh, I see. Um, if you look at the recording I did, if you look at the Ghost Box session,
Mhm.
Vesa throws a number out there that and Elena basically threw out a different number. They tend to disagree on how things are implemented. Like the totality of all the information we learned, it was 90% of it was good and 10% yield. If you negate certain other factors like oh god, what was what you say was negated? Come on. Uh it dropped another 20% if you God, I can't remember what was removed from there. I'd have to go re-listen to it.
Yeah.
But it dropped on Avessa's opinion, it would drop to 70%. Uh, and Lena's opinion, it goes to 90. So, see, that's where opinions differ. People think it's just it's going to be this one solid agreement, and it's not. Even amongst couples like that. So no, it's
What I think
yeah.
is weird is you're trimming time, like you're with the MDTF, you're having to go and manage timelines so that they don't go and they're not being twisted by somebody, and
Mhm.
you're repairing them, so to speak, with little, I'm sure it's like little tweaks. You just show up there, little whisper in somebody's ear, and it changes something for the
Yes,
better.
yes, yes, yes. It's like how the whole angel and demons are sitting on your shoulder type of deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
exactly. And so
somebody from
that's,
another timeline sitting there going, "Go and stab that person," and then the other one's going, "Don't stab that person." You know
so in
that
a
kind
way,
of.
you're having to fix it because you have no choice. They're
Yeah,
messing with it too,
yeah.
and so that's the form of policing that probably is the case.
That's exactly it. That's the
But it's
form.
still, what I find interesting is that's the case, but they're still undetermined. But then you think of the multiverse, it has already happened. So that's just the part that's really hard to wrap
It's
around.
already happened and will continue to happen.
But how is it undecided?
Yeah. Are there any undecided sections of this?
Oh, I just picked up something.
Hmm.
It's almost like everybody forgot how it went, but they see the outcome, just the in between.
Oh, yeah, they don't see the journey, they see the outcome.
They see
Yeah.
the outcome. That's starting to make some sense to me. Is that the case?
You nailed it. It's let's see oh God, what was that line from one of the mummy movies uh like like what was it, the journey hadn't been decided, but it was the outcome that was, yeah, it was
Yeah.
those line, and there was a line from the mummy that stuck out to me like that,
Oh, okay.
so that always stuck out basically.
Because I
uh
always said, they said, no, it's not going to go that way. All, very determined. No, we know. Well, how do you know the outcome if you don't know all the other pieces? And it's kind of like, well, that part hasn't been decided.
oh yeah, yeah, okay, they said the line was basically the destiny was the journey, not the outcome, is what the line was. So
Destiny
okay,
was the journey, not the outcome. Yeah.
that was the line in the movie.
That's where I've always been mixed up. I always felt like whenever, because I've had such strong deja vus all my life.
mhm.
Like now I'm also sensitive. When it's happening, I'm like, okay, what did I feel like the choice is about to happen and I better make the right one. It's that feeling of, oh shit, the choice is right in front of me, but I probably already made it. Is but
Yeah.
I feel that moment of going, holy shit, I better pay attention. I got a decision to make.
Yeah, remembering in reverse. It's premonition is remembering in reverse.
And
So
remembering the verse, so it's always strong that way. But I didn't realize that
yeah,
um, what that whole thing was. But it's it's a weird thing because in a way you have a future memory. It always felt like I was seeing something in the future because I sometimes have a dream. There's a lot of times I saw a moment, I couldn't make sense of it, and then all of a sudden it's there. I'm like, yeah, that's what I visioned. It's there. It's that kind of a memory.
yes, yes, and that's why also they said like how Lonulus was supposed to be in the future. That's why Indra Cold just took the fucking answer because it's saying
Because
all
it's
these
too
other
hard to
people.
understand.
It's
Well,
too hard
that's
to
the whole
understand.
thing with Destiny. I always felt like deja vu was tied to Destiny. I felt like, okay, why should I even bother making it such a big deal about the decisions I make because it's going to happen anyways?
Hmm.
You know what I
Wrong.
mean?
I just heard wrong.
Wrong.
There is a right and wrong answer here. So
I always felt like I was going to end up this place because it would happen, and then I'd be like, well, I was going to come here anyways. I remember this.
mhm.
Always
Yeah.
feeling like I was supposed to be here no matter what.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're trying to avoid some of these bad timeline snippets, like this house that I was focusing on, this generational house where with Kieran, me, and Joanna, and apparently there is a wrong answer here because I might remember it in reverse, but it didn't mean it was the correct choice. So,
Uh,
I just because you remember something don't mean it was the correct choice. Like you remember shit you pulled in the past that you wish you could undo, kind of thing. This
oh,
is the
totally.
past future, and you can prevent
I've
something.
always actually sometimes wanted to kind of just close my eyes when doing a session, thinking, yeah, they see all that. They saw what I did when I was younger. Oh my God, I was stupid. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have
this
many of
is
those now,
yeah,
but I just
this
had
is
one yesterday. I got a seatbelt ticket. I know better. What the hell am I doing? But I
oh yeah,
again, but I'm
little stuff
joking there. I
like
don't
that.
follow those rules. I hate rules. So
Like your father, basically, well, like he get pulled over and you just scream at
yeah,
the
for
cop.
some reason they wouldn't give him one. They wouldn't dare. But
No, they're like, "Oh my God, it's you." Okay, yeah. That's funny.
that's where you put it in their head, like they do the whole Jedi mind trick. They just see themselves getting thrown in jail and arrested, and they don't. Then they just decide not to go there because there's suddenly it's a fear in their mind going, "Oh, I don't want that."
It's just like
Yeah,
during the masking time frame. You just went, "No, I'm exempt, thank you."
yeah.
And you just pulled the whole Jedi mind trick on the person. They're like, "What?"
You know what?
So
It truly was because everybody had said to me, "You know, you're the only one that these security guards they pretend they don't see you. They just all of a sudden they're looking at the window as I'm walking by. I was the one, and so a bunch of people told me they said there's one person that the security guards will not go after over a mask, and that's you. And they're just like, why is that? You know what I mean?
yeah, it's because you put that energy out there and you're putting that outcome out there, and they're like, we're not gonna do anything here."
Yeah, no, we don't want
We're
any.
questioning our life choices at the moment. We're not doing, it's like, but yeah, that's what I'm getting. Just because you're remembering this thing in reverse doesn't mean that it was a good outcome and that you needed to, embody that,
Right.
uh, with that alternate timeline I was seeing. It's
You
like,
know,
I
it
don't
always
want that.
bothered me when you said that you saw a timeline and I was a bum on the street. I was always sitting there going, holy crap, that's got to be the worst on the grayscale thinking about it because I was, what choices would I have made? And I could see the choices that I would have not been able to fully live with and could see myself going down that. But it's kind of like, wouldn't I have slapped myself in the face and said, wake up, man, what are you doing? And why would I need to experience that? I'm better than that.
Yeah, exactly. And I also Igron showed me one time where I was that guy with the sandwich board screaming at people on the street corners and stuff like that. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
uh, I'm like, no, I don't think I will. But and nobody was around that I knew, and everybody was gone, and I had similar life experiences, but they were worse
Yeah.
than here. Like he was trying to show me something that was far worse. Like, yeah, you did this already. You don't need to experience it. No, no, we're good, man. We're good.
Yeah.
It's like you as a homeless person. I was seeing that, and I just now I'm thinking about they're also saying, yeah, that was that a snipped timeline that iGround was showing me just before the thing disintegrated? Was that in a manner of speaking? Okay, what are we actually saying then? Um, did it disintegrate, or was he just bending something closer so that I could see it? That okay, like bending a branch. Look, bloom. We're doing
Yeah.
this. Look, there's something sickly here. Like basically, they're saying his version of rubbing a dog's nose in its own poop. Okay, yeah, all right.
Hmm.
So that's fascinating.
So the
Creepy.
question about going to, have had this feeling like I become Wodar. We are. I've always in the past never felt that because I'm like it's like I wouldn't embody Wodar, but now I do. I feel like I'm totally embodied, like my consciousness is there. Just it's like the best version of me. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, they fully they're fully agreeing on that point, but there's still a but somewhere in there. What? Not but. Um, it looks foreign to us, or saying again because we haven't reached that level.
Right.
Um,
That's why. And maybe now a little bit more on this timeline, I'm starting to see it now as okay, that's where I ultimately go. Not that I won't go back to Lanulos. There'll be I feel like that's like an extension timeline that we get or something, Chris. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in a matter
And
of
then
speaking.
eventually we do go back to our higher selves or oversoul.
Mm-hmm.
My worry was that I always felt like to be lost that way. It's kind of like where my daughter said to me once, she says, I'm so scared to die. And I was like, why would you be scared to die? I said, actually, I feel the opposite. I feel like I look forward to that. And she said, because I don't want to go back to a place where there's no you or my mom. Like she says, I want you to always be my dad. Even if she said, even if I die, I want you to be my dad. You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
it was upsetting her going, like, is that going to change? I'm somebody else. I don't want that, you know? So it's that whole feeling of you still want to be you in many ways too.
Mm-hmm.
You want to
Yeah.
be the best version of you, not the one that, is bitchy and whiny over something. You want to be that one that when the times when you've been your best, you've been strong, you've made the right choice.
Yeah, and I've been more the bitchy and whiny version lately. So it's oh, shut up. They said, oh, that's a fact. Like but Karen, you've been quiet. Mm, there's something that is making you sad. What is it? Is it the text that Susan did about with your name in it?
Mm.
Let me look again. That one. All right. There we are. All right. So yeah, that should yeah, with the with this recording, yeah, if you could do that like for tomorrow, send me a link and then
I'll send you a link. Yeah, I'll do it
and then
for sure.
uh yeah, and then because it should be about an hour or hour and a half in is when we
When we
started doing
started
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah. You can cut through the riffraff and then yeah, there should be just a chunk in there.
Yeah.
Because I want them to have context for what just happened while David was talking about that.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, when I was just talking to Kara, I'm not getting any malicious intent. It's just a lack of understanding here. So,
Yeah.
oh, and with Cassie and the rest of them now, with Nigel, I don't think I was getting that same thing. Hmm.
That's why he was getting through all your barriers that I was picking up is just that because he's not bad. There's a difference between bad and doing a bad thing. We've
Hmm.
all done a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the
I-
contracts and the ties don't necessarily tie you to a bad thing. They're tied to somebody who's a bad being doing bad things. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
so that's the thing is like, how do you, like, do we need to step up our defense a little bit further into further checking? Okay, who do you have contracts with? You know, who are you tied to? How is that? Are you connected to the yield at all? I don't know how you do all that, Chris, because I have trouble just with the basic discernment at the moment.
Oh yeah, I basically say if they're connected to any form of yield that is or any form of yield that's deceptive, any of those things, I usually just say that it's a conflicting agenda. So
Mm-hmm.
to our own. And
I've always felt that when we say conflicting agenda, it's like to who? It's like pass the ketchup. Somebody says pass the ketchup, and you pass it to somebody else as a joke. I feel like that's the same thing with with no conflicting agendas, but to who?
but to who? That would be us, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
Tighter circle, deeper roots. That's how I interpret it
Yeah,
anyway. Yeah.
yeah. So we got to just
Uh,
make sure we get that intention out there.
but to who? Oh, I pulled that ketchup thing by the way on them.
Yeah.
You pass ketchup, and I just passed it to an empty seat, you know, an empty chair. So
Yeah, that's a
you
good
said
one.
pass it. You didn't specify as the direction.
That's awesome.
Or if somebody does, can I do this? I was like, I don't know. Can you? I do that to them. I really pissed Joseph off doing that. Can I go walking down this aisle? It's like, I don't know, can you? And he got really pissed. But I did that to Kieran too. Can I look at this? I don't know. Can you? But and then everybody's like,
my kids have gotten on to me with all the dad jokes. They say they can now tell when the dad joke is loading. They say I have a look on my face, so they go, oh, because they know when's coming. Like it's loading. They said I'm loading up a dad joke, so it's like, I said there's a pause. There's often a pause. They say that goes, oh.
It's like that shirt that's out there. Yeah, there's a pause. There's like there's like that shirt out there that says sarcasm and it's a loading bar.
Right.
So you should have one made that says dad joke and it's just a loading bar.
Just loading. Yeah, that should be stuff that we should put onto because that everybody feels that and feels it's funny. That would be good stuff on the meme merch, I think, because then you're.
Oh yeah, I feel that's
getting
true.
A much bigger audience.
We should do a graphic that it says dad joke and it's just loading.
I bet you it would go. People would buy it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'll look for some like. Oh, did somebody respond to that? No. No. No.
No.
Yeah, interesting.
So you know what? I'm glad that we talked about that because that was a big thing that I really wanted to get to the bottom of. I felt such a change with that and a change of feeling with that. So I was kind of like, I know that this was a weird thing that you had picked up on to the Wodar and the Braun thing.
Yeah, because it's the stages of frequencies as you're going along is what I'm getting. Like it's where you're widening your perspective. Bronze at the end of that, and then here's Wodar. And you see how that goes.
Knowing that I will go to whatever that is kind of because I felt like I kept going, no, that's not what I'm feeling. It's like I feel like that's where I do go. But then I was like, if I go there, am I just washed away in a bigger library that you're like, oh, I'll just pull out some pieces are like that. So there was kind of like, do you go somewhere and disappear inside a larger consciousness? That's where, where somebody says, oh, you're talking to like, let's say Michael Jackson's Oversoul. And I'm not calling him in. Oversoul, but he says, yeah, you can call me Michael, kind of like with my dad. Yeah, you can call me Rodney. But there's a lot of things that he's like going, yeah, well, Rodney had some things, you know what I mean? But he looks at himself more as Ragnar. Because he took that name. So does that mean that Rodney is somehow lost inside him a little bit?
Not at all. Not at all. That's still your father. And so you're just getting a bigger, more expanded version of him.
So that's exactly what I'm feeling with Wodar. Is that's where we go, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately.
Yeah. Okay. I got a validation, but there's more to it than what we're saying. Okay.
You saying there's a choice in there?
Okay. What was that, Cassie? You wanted to chime in. What was that? There's a choice, yes. I'm hearing a but on your side, though. Okay, I'm getting this more from spirit now. It's like the spirit world is more of a transitional place, a transitory. It's yes, it can seem permanent because it's like a fixture there in reality, but it's more of a transitory type of situation where you're constantly moving. you're relaxing, of course, you're there. Oh, you're there fishing, or you're there, talking to somebody, or you're there mingling with people, or you're there, oh, well, I'm not in pain anymore because I'm in spirit, But technically, we're in spirit right now. So there really is no coming and going. It's like you're there, you're here. You're there, here, we're all combined here. So it's a constant transitory or transitional type of thing. It just from our perspective seems like it's coming and going. Uh, and, okay. So I knew that part already, but there's also an addition that I'm thinking Spirit wants to put on this. It's who's talking to me? Who's talking to me? Who's disapproving what I just said? And you're going to be the designated distractor. I'm going to go forward with this other thing. So, uh, yes, yes, you do go back to you. There, it's like what I was also seeing the Lonulosian life when you were out there, but you were working on some freighter. I was seeing this very closely where you were big, you were like Wodar sized. So, and we were a little bit, somebody said instead of the fun sized pack. Yeah, I understand. All right. But okay, that's actually funny. But it's like, yeah, you there, like I said, more expanded, but god damn it, it keeps going to like it's almost like that's the future. And we're remembering again. It's
yeah, that's what I feel. Exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel that's the future.
Yeah, it's the future, but we're remembering it backwards, like a mirror image. Thank you. Everybody went like that, So yes, Indrid Cold may have used the fucking answer, but at the same time, would Woodrow Derenberger and his daughter Tanelia understood they weren't meant to, kind of thing, So are you saying if we went to that planet that's in the Pleiades right now, that TZ Artemis, that is supposed to be Lonulus, what would we find now? Well, yeah, but are we saying Einstein's theory of relativity here, where it's the time lag deal with the rotation? Yeah, if that's part of it. Um, okay, or like in Interstellar, where it had that time lag. Like by the time they got to that solar system, the other team was just arriving, kind of thing. It was that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, they said I nailed it. They said
that's it there. It's Interstellar.
Yeah. Interstellar. Yeah, and that's why the future kind talk like that was based on their story too.
Yeah.
And there's another component to this. Are you saying if I don't reach my optimum form here, none of those events with you take place? You guys take place. How about you answer that question?
Oof, that must be nerve wracking for you guys if that like you lose somebody you love if you don't get them to help them get there.
There's more to it than that, but they said in a nutshell, there is a yes and a no to that. It's not. So okay, where did I have it?
They don't have the same thing that's going on here in Midgard. They're in. Why is that? Is that because it's closer to the central sun?
No. Okay. That was a no.
Misunderstanding the solar system spinning then. I figured maybe the
Oh yeah, okay. There is a yes to that because of the way relativity works, but that's also a no because you can regenerate it where through portal. So what you're saying through portal Like that episode of Stargate where they did a rotation, or they did something during a solar flare time, and they ended up time traveling to the 60s in the Stargate. They went to its version that was back in the 60s in a base somewhere. Yes. Okay. So you guys have come through portals. You've come to us physically. We've gone there, you come here. And that means in the now. This is not like years ago. So we've actually gone there. You've done certain things, repairs, things of this nature. And then we come back. And we sometimes get beat up because that energy was better, but there's more to it than that. Because they beat up and they distract because they don't want us sinking back up to that optimum form. I know that's a duh moment, but at the same time, man,
Yeah, when you think about that, that would be just as much of an infiltration or attempt as would timeline trying to manipulate time.
bingo, bingo. You heard it, you said it. So, um, yeah,
You want to get to a being, you go and try to mess up their avatars.
Yes, yes. So what about like Karen? Nigel was her guy friend there, supposedly, allegedly. So uh never said anything was bad. Okay. And Vesa, that's your mother. No, low system resources. Why?
Yeah, I was seeing that. I'm starting to get jerky.
Okay, I'm gonna close a few things here. I can close this. Yeah. All I had was Word open and I had Signal open, but huh. Well, my computer's being an ass, that's all.
Yeah.
So what oh, I see why. Okay. Somebody was trying to distract again. So
yeah, this is interesting.
so with that, I mentioned that the topic was mentioned your mother, Bessa, that's Karen. And with uh Nigel being her. Never said things were bad. Certain things were bad, but then of course the boss, the big exalted cheese that was there. Yeah. All right. Was he the one that was in that weird Cobra Commander mask that me and David kept seeing? Yes. Okay. I always was going Cobra back at him, like Cobra was in G.I. Joe, and he would get butthurt. But I didn't see the face. It was like this, like Cobra had in the storyline, where it was just a faceless, a map. And I'm thinking, I want to see who's behind that, and I was starting to pick up on something, so he changed gears, but yes, thousand times yes. Okay. Yeah, I was picking up on it. So we're in agreement that Nigel was being manipulated by butt brain there. Yeah, okay. I'm still leery of Nigel at this point though, because of the amount of weirdness.
Yeah. Well, would you say he's not a bad person? He just did a bad thing of not telling us the truth behind like the omission that he was with the yield and doing some stuff with Valiant Thor's people. Is that the case?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, computer, you're really heating up here.
So what about the other subject of from your perspective? We get that you guys are not going through the here on Midgard, the constant like we're way more branchy, so to speak, in the Yggdrasil tree. Does that mean you're further down in some more rooted area of you if you're thinking about a tree, more of a more to the towards a trunk? Or that's why I'm trying to compare it to the Milky Way universe to more of the central sun. If there was something related with that, with the
Yeah, there is. It is related. It's a component. Uh,
yeah,
but I'm thinking, uh, when it comes to the Yggdrasil tree, it's more of like I was seeing them when I was seeing the branches. I was seeing Elena and Bessa close to ours, like we were like really close to ours. And Elena said yesterday it was more like they're in a cleaner frequency, but we're not really far off. It's not like we would burn up if we went there, kind of thing. We could go straight to them. It was like they were just in the next room. Um,
yeah. I'm trying to think of a way to ask this question. So let's take exactly a year ago, let's say of May of 2025.
uh-huh.
Was that would that be something like a year ago for you as well? Or
Yes,
was it like
yes,
yesterday? It
yes.
would be?
It's a year ago. Yeah. They experience time the same way,
Yeah.
except that sometimes there might be a bit of like flip, like it might be dinner time when it's breakfast time here sometimes. But that is seems to be, and I've always said it's either dimensional rotation or like a dimensional like world within world rotation, or it's relativity where planets and stars are aligning differently. And so
Yeah, I
and
imagine the rotation of one that spins differently and then spins around the circle. It's the difference of days to years would be
yeah,
completely different in another on another planet.
another solar system. Yeah, so this makes much more sense. Um,
Okay,
mm,
but I was just wondering if it was because if I was thinking if it was they're talking to us over years of time, but it was like to them it
yep.
was like one sitting in a couple days or something like that of talking to us.
Yeah, at times it was one sitting in a couple of, there would be at certain times a year it matches up more than it does at others.
Yeah.
Like I think it matches up better, during the Sam Hain time
Yeah.
frame. Uh,
But it
uh,
feels like the now where you are is to the now here.
yeah,
That's what it feels like. Okay.
yeah, it feels like we're in real time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay.
so how did we get there? I mean, when you guys take us, spaceship, portal, or a combination of both? Combo.
Yeah.
Uh, so craft, but also you need one to go through portals and stuff. Sometime to avoid you need the craft so you avoid the insanity kind of thing, or like a suit or something. Yeah. Okay. So, because I have a memory, and when I was in one of Susan's sessions where I'm sitting on their couch and they're questioning something that was happening at the house here. They were actually not interrogating me. It's a wrong choice of words. It's just questioning me on something. And they had this on, they had these two pads out where they were looking at some events that were taking place here. I get the funny feeling they were measuring more of the time, like a time, like a, not a lag. What am I trying to say? Shift or change in some form or
Yeah,
fashion.
yeah.
That's what NDTF does. So, yes, is that what you were wanting me to see? That also there was a sickness or there was some weird disease their pads said too. Like somebody had some sickness. I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, as I don't really mean. Okay, before I went and had the blood pressure thing dealt with because I was getting attacked and stuff, and that's what
Mhm.
caused some of the Havana syndrome stuff. It was getting worse because of the really hypertension that was going on. There was a timeline that I fell away and that was negative, that I could feel it as it broke away, where I'd had a stroke and I was all retarded and everything. And then something happened with my mother there to where she shot me and she committed suicide after that, and because she was thought she was like putting me out of my misery or something. And correct, I'm here saying correct. Are you saying you intervening? It was one of those things where okay, this wasn't supposed to happen this way, and so you were trying to nudge me towards the optimum self because it crept away from that other one. Yeah. Okay. Correct. Absolutely. So, all right. So obviously we felt this today with earlier. So I can still feel it. I can still feel the deja vu echoes from this, and it's like it was further back, and it's like you're getting the fallout from it further out.
Yeah.
I know. I used a nuclear reference, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. But true though, because that game series also had to do with timeline changes and divergent world
Mhm.
lines and everything, like the '50s nuclear universe versus ours kind of thing, or like Philip K. Dick's Man in the High Castle, where the Japanese and the Nazis win the Second World War kind of thing, and it
Mhm.
splits our country. So yeah, there's something to this though. My heart's thumping really hard now over something. Hmm. All I know is if I'm sitting on their couch, I'm getting sitting on their bunny. Who said that was the black leather casting couch? Okay, bunny man. Okay, let me see. All right. Okay, somebody was making a joke, but at the same time, it's almost like you're auditioning for yourself. So somebody
Mhm.
was making a
Joke of that,
porn
but that makes
industry
sense
joke,
in a
but
way.
huh?
That does make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, it's like somebody was making a porn industry joke, but it was like which I'm blaming Igron for that one, but I or Isaac disembodied Isaac somewhere. But with this, how can I put it? You're auditioning to see if you've hit your optimum self, kind of thing.
Mhm.
If you're in that optimum timeline.
So that version that you saw of me, that was more like Wodar size.
Hmm.
Um, would that have been like 12 feet tall then, that kind of thing? Like that
Mm,
big?
I don't think you were that big. It was closer to like eight, 7 or 8.
8 feet tall? So just
Yeah.
much bigger.
Yeah, you
Okay.
were about a little bit taller than Isaac, I believe. So,
Yeah. Oh,
uh,
interesting.
yeah.
And yeah,
And you were in some kind
impressive.
of armor, like suit, like suit of armor, that we
Yeah.
were dealing on this freighter. Um, and you were talking to Kaylani on a little screen, like
Yeah.
just about maybe about the size of a little flat TV, but it was
Yeah.
in the wall like you see on Star Trek. And it could
Right.
also come out like if you needed to extend an arm out to go to like wherever the person was, it would go,
Right.
and the AI would bring it over and go, and put it back
Yeah.
in. Uh, like you'd seen some of those sci-fi movies like Alien or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, yes. Okay, I'm getting it correct. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, ooh. So when I was there, though, I was on a time limit. I distinctly remember being very distraught, having to leave, and there was like this electronic calendar that basically said, "Okay, you have to go back on this day." And all of a sudden, then my name popped up, and I did not want to leave. And it's like, what's the worst that could happen if didn't leave? And I never really got an answer to that.
Right.
Um, that Isaac kept trying to say it was too dangerous, like there was something temporally that had to find resolution. Now we know what we're talking about here.
Right.
Like it was an earlier, but if it was an earlier version of me, that wouldn't be the optimum version if I had to circle back around like that. So, okay, because, oh, all right. In more of a metaphor, they're saying I wasn't done cooking yet.
I
Okay.
wasn't done cooking. Well, that
Okay.
brings me
So,
back to
okay.
this feeling that I had last week where where I was saying I don't want to, the last thing I want to do here is to not allow somebody to be their optimal self. That was really hitting home with me a lot this last week that I was thinking about it.
Hmm.
And I felt the same sadness for myself or holding anybody back that was not allowed to become their optimal self. Um like I wouldn't want to make a personal decision if it was going to affect that person's optimal self. That's where I was starting to feeling like, oh my god, I how do I fix this? But then I was starting to like um hold back from decisions, but then I had to make a very tough decision on Sunday to really lead and champion a situation for the entire family. And when I did and allowed everybody to kind of go onto, it was like I was like, okay, I'm dragging you guys. This is what we're doing. we're all going to just be in our heart space, forgive, just do the best for each other, and just kind of like wanting everybody to um put love first, and let's try to be that best version of ourselves, and try to lead everybody down that path. Then things really changed for us. It was like that was the moment that it was a big change. So I guess it goes back into that whole feeling of, um I I'm frustrated because I feel like there's more to just our own versions and what we're doing, holding ourselves back. But it really frustrates me again to I think about what I would have become if Valiant Thor wasn't fucking with me so much. You know what I mean? That whole situation, I think that I would have gotten there to where I need to be so much sooner. Now, maybe there would be more corrupt versions in the sense of wealth maybe doesn't do anybody that great. There's a lot of times that I was going to potentially hit like generational wealth. And
Yeah.
I remember Ragnar, we were talking with that because I said, I think that this is a good path. It's going to like set up our family forever. And he was like, yeah. And that hasn't, you think about how many in my past, in my genetic line, how many kings and queens there were. It's ridiculous. When I look at my family tree, it's
Yeah.
it's full of all the kings and queens in the past of
Yeah. We had it too. So,
Denmark.
yeah.
It's crazy. Yet all that wealth has completely disappeared because it always seems to get channeled down the whatever path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. There's always some guy in the tree that goes, I think I'm going to spend all of this on this crazy idea. And
Yeah, or something, right? So, what people think they're leaving generational wealth is not the case. I don't think
it's
people.
retarded. They said it's a retarded concept. They said because yes, there are some that have the generational wealth that I argue should be sharing it with their descendants. If you've built that already, just give it to them and see what they might surprise you by using it right.
I guess I always thought if you allowed me to become a billionaire, I know for a fact I wouldn't just be a billionaire. I'd be a billionaire that would spend most of my money.
Yeah, I
Because
would be. Oh, yeah. The first thing I would do is probably one of the first things I would do. Actually, we would help other or other friends and
oh,
stuff
you
like
help
that.
everybody I'd just be
Mhm.
handing it out is what I would do because
Oh,
I know
yeah.
my limit isn't there. Like I
Mhm.
don't need all that.
No.
Why would I need any of that?
Yeah, I we would be helping out everybody. Just get straight, like pay debts off and whatnot. And also, there's another diversion here that I think I'm getting back when we did. Um, oh God, back when we did the old GIC, there was a spot where there was now I know is a distortion where there was these were people that went by just letter names. Like you'd have, you know how in James Bond where you had M and you had uh, the different letterheads and stuff like that. And then also remember we talked about it being named M and all that other stuff, and we
I
found
remember you
out
saying House M all the time. House M.
and M, and yeah, that was that ended up being false in that respect. But we got to think. I got to thinking when you were mentioning Munso and that the House of Munso and the House of M.
That would have been,
I
yeah.
was picking on genetics. But with this, sometimes these agencies will use, like you see MI6 doing in James Bond, they'll use these letters that they might stand for the person's name. They might be completely different. It's just a randomized letter or a ranked letter. With this though, I was seeing a southwesty type of environment, like when I see Lanulos with pools of like springs and whatnot. The blonde-haired idiot was around at the time.
In Lanulos.
He was around at the time where he was still part of our circle at the time. And I was interacting with a being also by the name of K, letter K.
Mm,
And so that looked surprisingly like Kara.
big Kara.
And so, in fact, identical. So that and interacting with, I remember also interacting with names like letters like E and V, like Lena Bessis. So But in this one scenario, the blonde-haired idiot would constantly get in the way. He would constantly try to he would say, "Oh, you got to relax. You got to do this thing. You got to do that." But he would become almost the embodiment of the thing you wanted to do, but he would be the diversion from it.
Right.
And so, bingo, 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 bingo. That's what I'm hearing. So, is that what Spirit's using him for? Is another discernment thing, like the other, like the nutless Wonder Boy? Because there was always these three components. And
you know what I just picked up? I picked up useful idiot.
Bango! I just heard useful idiot.
Useful idiot.
By that of Spirit, he's a useful idiot. So, yeah. And same thing with Loki. No, useful idiot.
Useful idiot.
Correct. And the witch, a useful idiot. Even dangerous useful idiots, but useful idiots. Correct. That's a fact. But I remember seeing Kara, now that I'm thinking about it, at the time in her Valkyrie getup and everything. But then the witch tried to, as I recall, tried to make herself appear the same way because it was diverting me away from the real people. Blonde-haired idiot tried to, when I came in contact, when I was picking up on Kara, did something similar where he tried to flip his dual gender switch to where I thought I was interacting with Kay, and then we did a channel that was about Egypt that had to do with that was a channel from Kay, and either that was the blonde-haired idiot taking that form, or that was you. That was even though the revoking the fairy tale, that's the fantastical tales concept, doesn't mean that the concept wasn't real. It was still that nutfucker. Yeah, okay. So I get it, but I think I'm just gonna call him Cobra Commander from this point on because good choice. They said so. I think he goes from the blonde-haired idiot to Cobra Commander, but the reason I brought that up is because I was remembering things from Lomulus, just like I was remembering things from the SSP. The witch came in and started inserting a bunch of Doctor Who crap in there, so I thought it was from a TV show and thought it was like, oh, this was symbolic for moving on and moving this and also doing, again, Optimum Self. But with this, diverting me away from it. And now I have to fight to go back on that and really want it. Therefore, you become your optimal self. So, right. So I get why Spirit left these fuckheads in play. I really do. I get it completely. It's just that, okay, we're past that now. Why don't we get rid of that?
What's that, Ragnar? Would you say that that's what you discovered when Will passed away? Because I know he would have gave a piece of his mind. Just knowing him, he wouldn't have let that go. Do you feel like as soon as you passed over, it was more of a realization that question was already answered, and it was like, which is the like,
yes,
okay,
yes,
there is some unfortunate harm that is happening. However, people are allowing it, therefore, Spirit is allowing it.
Yeah. Yes.
In a way. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Spirit would jump in. True Source creator would jump in and say, "Okay, that's overage. That's not needed." But somehow this is like being allowed to have such darkness. But is that because of the yin yang of it, so to speak, or you have to be able to have such goodness, you have to have such darkness, since we're talking about it?
Okay. Ragnar, can you come in clearer, please?
That seems so sad in a way, but I guess I understand it. But it's
the multiverse of madness, basically. Yes, that's true. But yeah, that's a yin yang. You got to have the duality, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you accept shittier conditions because of the fact that there's a yin yang. It doesn't mean that you automatically, it's not that thy will be done crap where you just like the Job, like where you just keep accepting tragedy. No, that's not it. That's bad. It's because people do that thinking, oh, I'm going to do this anyway because just to get it out of the way. That doesn't, no, you just live your life and do your thing, and you don't just accept tragedy. The only time you live in acceptance is if you've done everything else and that then the thing is continuing and you just have to let certain things go, of course. But that doesn't mean you automatically accept it all just because it's part of the balance doesn't mean you accept like horrible things happening. You know, that's okay. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. How does what if I can ask for source? How does source feel about that or spirit? I just feel like it's my gut feeling is that you would say that you're abhorrent to it. It's terrible.
Hmm. I feel that too. Spirit's abhorrent to these distortions. And hence why you have the void MTTF and all those that are here correcting the shit. So that's why you have those things. Yes, or also because if you didn't need
I
it,
just got this that it was already corrected. We're just in the timeline where it wasn't yet.
that's a fact. That's a
That's a
fact.
fact too. Okay. See, it was corrected.
It is correct. Has
It is
been.
corrected.
Yeah.
It's just not where we are in this timeline right now.
It's not where we're at. Yeah. So it's been corrected already. It's just not where we happen to be. And before anybody goes smart ass on me and says, of course it's correct because it's everything everywhere happening all at once, before somebody gives a smart ass answer.
Yeah, that is kind of the smart ass answer of that one because in a way, that doesn't really fulfill the understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of confusing actually when that said,
Mm-hmm.
it does get people the concept of all possibilities are not just possible, they are.
Yeah, like it was said in Multiverse of Madness, Wanda goes, the character Wanda goes, there's a solution to every single problem in the multiverse.
Mhm.
That, yeah. But yeah, I'm getting where they are. It's cleaner. Where I'm getting from these two, it's cleaner. It's like you could look up the sky and see there's like no crud or anything like that. Certain problems have been solved. Um, and something else here. Something trying to grasp at here. Oh, hang on. No, I think this is a distortion. Wait a second. What? Hmm? Oh yeah, I sense a distortion coming in. Yeah, it's like a smoke wave coming through. Yeah, I can feel that. Oh, hang on, it's an overlay. Good. Oh yeah, of course I have to discern that. Yes. Oh, and also the darker end of the spectrum will always get me to think that there's always just one more thing around the corner. Explain? Meaning once you've discovered a certain truth, like there's always another aspect to it. Of course, there's always different aspects of expanding, but at the same time, the other side will think, oh, it's still an unanswered question. Just because I don't comprehend something, it doesn't mean that it's an unanswered question. So the dark side will constantly leave it open-ended, like the unfavorable semicircle, you know. But it's always complete. So it just seems like it's not. So the darker side takes advantage of that, saying, "Oh no, there's more. You're not doing that."
That's I remember feeling this when I was young. Now I think I was probably somewhere between 7, 8 years old, I think I was.
Mhm.
And I remember my family was very superstitious. Like they would say, oh, don't walk underneath a ladder. Like that's like this, or if you break a mirror, you've got 10 years of bad luck coming.
Mhm.
That kind of superstitious stuff.
Oh, the
I don't know
superstition.
why walking underneath a ladder, like it's just like that's bad luck. You never allow or walk in front of a Black Cat's Path or something like that too. That's where like there's a bunch of superstition I'm trying to think of, but I remember at the time I was thinking about it, and I was thinking to myself, going, I'm walking underneath this ladder, because if I convince myself that it's not superstition and that it's not going to happen, it won't happen to me then. And so I remember doing it all the time, and my brother going, "What are you doing?" And I go, "It doesn't work for me. Like it doesn't. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't get the."
Oh, yeah, I always got that, and I remember my grandmother going. I would pass under a letter. Oh my God, you did something bad! I'm like, stop it. Like I remember doing
But
that.
I
Yeah.
think that there's a lot more to that. Like there's more to it that we can self-inflict, I guess, in that aspect, or we
Yeah.
kind of we're
Self-sabotage. Yeah.
but I think it's only in the sense that we allow it to happen when it does happen, because we already made an agreement that it was going to happen. If that makes sense, it's kind of like a
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. They're agreeing. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, that's why that whole walking the path, meaning feeling invincible and feeling like nothing's, because I've felt a few times where it's like um I felt like there's all kinds of distraction, all kinds of things that when I'm trying to work on something to fix it,
Mhm.
I have so much that I have to fight through that I'm sitting there going, it's just not fair for me. However, I know that I will get there. I will win. And it's because I know I will win that I end up fighting through it. But when I look back at it, I go, I had more hurdles to climb than anyone I know. And it frustrates me knowing that I still got to the outcome, but I had to go through 100 times more hurdles than somebody normally would have to.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's my frustration.
I've noticed that. I always thought it was suspicious when when we were being told that people like us have to try a little bit harder constantly all the time.
Yeah.
Like somebody was like trying to set us up for failure by trying harder, burning out our resources, and then being less successful than where we could have been, and that was a timeline diversion. So it was like that's okay, bingo. You just live and do your thing. You don't, okay, you don't have to overly overachieve. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I can't remember who said that, but yeah, I thought that was wrong when I heard it. Yeah, that's, and Joanna was told this too, and she's like, I think that sounds right. No. And she was all out of all of it. She was the first to say that's bullshit, and now we're all catching up. Up to it, now it's like now I'm going to tell her this later, and she's like, she's going to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah.
like
She will.
that's her with her that look on her face. That's the version of "I told you so" coming out of her. So she's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I could told you that, but no, actually, she doesn't have to do anything more other than
Yeah.
like that, and that's the "I told you so" no shit. Duh. That's all of that.
Yeah.
And also give slap that the whole thing. That's that. So.
Yeah.
But as we were talking also a little bit ago about, we'll just say Cobra Commander. That's actually a better nickname. I like that one. There was this red like orb flash. I saw the corner of my eye up here, and I saw that on Hartley too when he was around too. I saw this poof,
Oh.
and this like it's like a red flashbang.
Yeah.
But it's like a like so I'm looking around. I don't see him anywhere. But I do, guys. I do recognize the signature, and he's trying to
He
trick me.
listened in, is what
Huh?
I'm getting. He listened. Some of it.
He's trying to trick me to thinking that like Kara was him and this was him and this was it's just like he tried to trick we were getting signs from the forest people then, and he was trying to trick us into thinking like the hawk symbol was him and all this. It was him, and it was the forest people in nature trying to warn us about him. So it was like okay, but for brains, you don't need to be around. I really honestly don't want you around. um their Cobra Commander. I really don't have any need to have you around. So you're hereby revoked. So actually, I'll just do the long way around. I now hereby revoke and renounce any and all ties, bindings, contracts, entanglements, programs, strings, and agreements made with the being known as Simeon and in all of his many forms and or masks. As of this moment in time, all masks fall off. I do this in all dimensions, expressions, timelines, collapsing, invading timelines, in all multiversal, omniversal, and super omniversal situations. Then any and all frequencies and energies seen and seen, heard and heard, felt and felt, and known and unknown, made across time space were appropriate under the supervision of true benevolent source creator, true benevolent earth mother, and the true benevolent verses. It is forever so in all moments, all sessions and expressions. I cleared it.
Nice.
But,
Who is the true benevolent versus? Is that the void?
that one of them. Omniverse, in the omniverse and super omniverse, there's different consciousness, or not consciousness, different souls and beings that govern the different spaces. And
Yeah.
benevolent versus is like the head of the void, or the head of the one, this omniverse or this omniverse or this omniverse. So
Okay, yeah.
it's that subdivision of like source where we're divided out to the different
Where it's
these.
divided. Yeah. I was picking up something like that, and so it just made me think of that quick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that oh yeah, that cleared that. Oh yeah, you guys are grateful that was cleared. Yeah, I remember that back on Hartley, waking up in the moonlight, seeing this red poof, and I'm like, the hell is this? And the witch would do multicolored little Christmas light shit, and the brat would. There really wouldn't be anything with him. I suppose if you count the Jesus persona, it was more of like a glowy thing with him. But if you count the other variants or variations of him, but yeah, I always remember there was like some colored light involved. With the witch, it was like this, like woo, like a ton of them. But with Cobra Commander there, it was more. Oh, and I get it. Oh, I get it. Well, I don't know why I just didn't see this. In a dream I had about him, he turned into this white-looking, like little angel statue form, and it was the type. You've seen those angel statues with the spiral bottom, and it has no face, and it's just like a department store mannequin that has no face on it. That. And he always would transform, from that into like a red orb in dream states and everything. Basically saying white like Orion, or now I get the angel reference, which would be winged Orion or seraphim. So it's like, so yeah, that I had that in my book from the fall to lifting, where it was a chapter about him in that.
Oh,
So,
really? Interesting.
yeah, and now that I think about it, he was also in some of these. I was in a hospital setting in one, looking for a friend of mine in a dream state, where it was a friend of mine that had been repeatedly abducted and thrown. Oh, she was thrown in an insane asylum and all this other stuff. And I remember in this transitional place where I always assumed it was like spirit. Now I know it's the more Beetlejuice layer. She was in this room where she had this black crap being extracted from her, and she was in this state where she was looking at me going, "Oh, I had." She was in a hallucinatory state, saying, "Oh, I had to tell them you raped me and all this other stuff." I remember the dream sequence. Closed the door, went to the window, and saw the Cobra Commander guy standing outside in his purple robe. He was always in a purple robe and had blackened over eyes and all this. I'm like, now I know this is Orion's, but the hospital setting, that would have been like Velodian. So I was seeing it then. Things were always like in letter form, like I said, S, T, or V, or E, or something like that, or K. But now I was only getting fragments of names because I was being blocked from a lot of stuff. Now that I know this, I just think that is actually interesting. So
I
now
think that
that
goes back to my point of wanting to make sure that we're not blocked. I feel so contained in that aspect that, like,
oh yeah, I hate that. I
ready
hate
for the next move, but I don't want to crawl out of like this. If I'm in a hole, you're making me crawl out. This is the way I look at it. Let somebody drop a hand and I'll grab it.
yeah.
We'll get out.
Uh,
We'll get out of this.
Somebody is like showing me one of those hands on a stick with the white rubber glove.
Oh, that's all it was.
Here,
Yeah, here you go.
like
Give
the
me a hand.
comical hand that you see in the
Yeah.
cartoon. Go here, have it, and then they let go, and the character falls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
God, that's funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. But
I saw that David was talking about in the Telegram that he revoked Kara, and then he saw Kara. Did he say on a silver motorcycle, like giving him the finger as she was tearing off?
that's interesting. Okay, let me look here real fast.
Kara,
Ryan,
is that what you did? You just experience something like that with David? How did
uh,
that feel when you got revoked?
annoying, but she doesn't blame him. Okay. hmm
He saw you give him the finger though,
Yeah,
which is funny
yeah.
to me.
Well, because they're people, if they get their
Yeah,
feelings hurt. So,
yeah.
let's see.
I'll tell you a little bit while you're reading that because is that when I was around 7, I remember a very moment of time, and I feel like somebody was manipulating me at the time because I felt back then. Now that I think about it, something was telling me that I had a choice, and I had a choice to be good or bad. And I remember thinking about, well, what is it like to be bad? And I was kind of, so, well, there's this, and then it was like a choice, and I remember having to really think about it. Like, okay, so I have to make this choice now, yeah. And then I thought through it, and I was like, I choose good. I'm gonna be good. I don't want anything to do with any of this bad. I remember when I was a little kid feeling that like it was like I choose good. That's what I want. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's funny that
and
I
good.
have a memory of that.
Good. This is also a reason for all the other distortions is because you made that choice then. They tried to distort you as you went along to make sure you wouldn't hold to that.
Yeah,
Say, oh, you talk big,
yeah,
but let's see.
yeah, right.
uh, you talk a big game, but we'll see. Oh, and I just saw the whole thing with the Kara on the motorcycle thing where she's like,
Yeah,
like this. But it's hoping that David, her working out what Susan was pointing out, saying they always felt like they had some kind of weird, fiery kind of kind of relationship going on, like they were standoffish of each other to begin with. There.
right.
So that makes more sense to me than
Yeah,
her being bad. This makes more sense that they just didn't get along.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so
I
yeah,
think so
that
too.
that
That's all
makes a
it
lot
is.
more sense to me.
Yeah.
I do have to cut this because I just heard a little bit my name being called out
Sure,
there.
sure. So I
Uh,